What's up, guys? I'm DK Wrestler.
And I'm MD Shady.
And in today's podcast, it is none other than talking about leaks for New York Comic Con 2023. We've noticed the last week or so, leaks have finally been posted for New York Comic Con 2023, which in a lot of people's mind is regarded as the best Comic Con when it comes to Funko Pop and or Funko Soda figure exclusives. And of course, we will go one by one talking about the leaks, but I thought it would be a great idea to actually kick off by talking about like some of our favorite New York Comic Con exclusives that have released since either we've started collecting or just overall. There have definitely been some bangers. My favorite Funko Pop of all time was a New York Comic Con exclusive, that being the Buzz Lightyear with the Pizza Planet truck pop rides. That's a great pop. I think a really innovative pop that I always talk about on a lot of our videos on the channel is the Professor Quirrell from Harry Potter with the removable headpiece there. And yeah, there's quite a bit of New York Captain Rex is something that we always like discussing about on the channel also. Any New York Comic Con pops in mind for you, MD?
I mean, you got a lot of the big ones. Captain Rex is definitely one that I first thought about. That's a great pop. And of course, the story between me owning it, you buying it for me, that one is definitely the one that stands out the most.
New York Comic Con has had some pretty big bangers. However, with some people's reactions for the supposed leak list that we're going to be talking about today, which I always like to mention is that none of these are officially confirmed until Funko says it themselves on their social media platform, whether it will be in sometime in September like they usually do, or hopefully they don't go the route they did with San Diego Comic Con this year and present them literally the week before the convention happens and do for like 7 days straight with that weird schedule. But nonetheless, MD, I guess, are you ready to talk about the leaks?
Absolutely.
All right. So I think the order I'm going to go here is talking about the sodas first and then go into the pops, especially because like the last pop that's listed here is something that I think both of us would like, but also I'm not even sure if this is actually officially listed as a soda or it's listed as a pop. All right, so the first Funko Soda listed here is actually one we discussed about on our leaks for San Diego Comic-Con podcast, and that is Lord Zed from the Power Rangers, which it definitely makes sense considering that this year is the 30th anniversary of the Power Rangers. Actually, this week, as we were recording this podcast and will be released, they actually officially confirmed the 30th anniversary wave of Power Rangers with, you know, your usual Rangers and then the Ranger Slayer that people are a little ticked off about for obvious reasons that we'll actually get into in a podcast that may release next week or the week after that we've already pre-recorded. But nonetheless, Lord Zed, I mean, that sounds like a cool idea. And like we did for the San Diego Comic-Con leaks, I think it's a good idea to predict what the chase will be. And I think we mentioned that this makes sense being metallic.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just thinking. I couldn't really see them doing anything else besides metallic for the chase with this soda, and I think it'll look cool, and I'll probably end up trying to find that chase if that is the case.
Next soda listed is Sandy Claus from the Nightmare Before Christmas. This one's going to be interesting. They've made a lot of Nightmare Before Christmas sodas as of late within the last couple of years. I mean, you got like 4 Jack Skellingtons, and then they did like the whole Black Light wave, and they've done a bunch of other characters. But Sandy Claus, they've never done in soda. They have done a few pops, but they've never done a soda. So this one should be interesting. I wouldn't exactly know how they would pull off the chase. I think it's either they're gonna have to change like the whole molding of it when he like gets sucked into like the tube there to go to Oogie Boogie's lair somehow, or if they went with an actual like specification change. I feel like maybe scented. I don't know why, but it could be scented for like the whole Christmas cookie feel.
Yeah, this should be a pretty cool soda. Obviously, he is more of a robust character, so I feel like this will have more of the weight to like, let's say, like the Pete from the Disney lineup of sodas. I feel like it'll be a bigger soda like that, and I think it'd be cool. The chase, I think, could potentially be flocked. I mean, there's a lot of things on the character itself that could be flocked, whether it is the beard or the actual suit itself. I feel like would also fit the kind of flocked theme.
Up next is a Naruto Funko Soda, and that is Sasuke, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they just recently announced Naruto finally after doing so many Borutos, I believe, and that's, I think, a Funko Shop exclusive. And so I would assume it releases close to when this would be released if it officially is confirmed by Funko for New York Comic Con. So I guess that definitely makes sense. And I'm surprised with the character like Sasuke, considering he's more of like one of the main characters, that they would use it as a Comic Con exclusive instead of just releasing it as either a common soda or just a regular exclusive soda, like let's say to a Hot Topic or a box lunch.
Yeah, Sasuke is going to be really cool. He's an awesome character. So this should be a really cool soda. I'll probably end up picking one up if I can find one, just to see if I can open it up and get that chase. Not sure what the chase would be, but I'm sure there's a lot of different things that they could do with a character like Sasuke.
Yeah, it's very difficult to think of exactly what the chase would be. I mean, specification wise, I mean, they with the pops, they've done glow in the dark variants so many times, so they could go down that route. Maybe they'll do like some sort of different version of Sasuke from like a later episode or something like that. But yeah, this should be an interesting one. Then we have ourselves Mark and Mindy, and it's Mark. I actually don't even really remember about Mark and Mindy all that much. I'm not sure if you do.
I'm assuming this is probably supposed to be Mork and Mindy. Is that what it is?
Oh, it does say Mork. It's just very tiny lettering. I thought it said Mark, but yeah, it does say Mork and Mindy.
Okay, this is awesome. I had no clue about this. So this is really cool. DK, if you didn't know, Mork and Mindy is basically one of the first shows that Robin Williams was a part of. Awesome. My dad used to collect a bunch of Mork and Mindy stuff. So I'll definitely be having to grab multiples of these sodas, one for myself and also one for my dad. I think he'd really appreciate that. I have no clue what the chases could potentially be with these, but I feel like the commons themselves will look really awesome.
Okay, and so Mork, just to confirm, is that Robin Williams' character?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we got a Robin Williams Funko soda possibly for New York Comic Con. That's pretty sweet. I don't even remember the last time we had like Robin Williams Funko merch. I can't even remember what character that would be. I know we definitely had some, I feel like.
Jumanji.
Yeah, that's true. Jumanji. Jumanji, that's right. And I do have, I think one of the, because I remember the exclusive and common were just not even that different. One's got a dagger,
Yeah,
one's
I also have the common.
then we got Lost Boys Funko Sodas, both of Alan Frog and Edgar Frog. I kind of remember, I don't like, I've seen the pops before. I actually have not seen the Lost Boys. I know people are going to probably be like, whoa, what are you doing? Like 5 days a week on the channel, people. Come on. Sometimes you don't have time to watch some of these things and know about it. But I know of it. I have an image of some of the characters, but I'm not sure if it's these exact ones. But I feel like with Lost Boys also, I think I remember with pops, they did bloody variants. So I think maybe bloody variant would be the chases for both of these.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense to me. And hopefully these turn out pretty cool because I feel like these have the potential to just be very lackluster, just human characters.
All right, so for Hanna-Barbera, we have Top Cat. I'm not exactly sure about this, not gonna lie. I mean, technically, I do have the photo of like the pictures to give me reference here. So in the order that I'm looking at, okay, I'm looking at the photo right there. So yeah, okay, I remember there definitely being a pop at some point of Top Cat. Now we're getting a Top Cat soda.
Yeah, this should be cool. If I'm correct about this, I believe that the Top Cat was like a specialty series or something like that. So yeah, this should be a really cool soda. I don't know what the chase would be. Again, flocked kind of makes sense, but I feel like they could go with like a color variant with this.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, it's like I didn't even mention flocked yet, so I'm just going to go with flocked since I didn't say that for any of the other ones. And then going on to the pops here, the first one that's listed on this huge list here is Ichigo Kurosaki. I know I probably butchered that. That's from Bleach. Not surprised because we have gotten a few Bleach Comic-Con exclusives within the last year. One that I can remember off the top of my head, I believe the character's name was Jack from, obviously, Bleach, but it was CCXP, the winter convention last year with the like tongue that sticks out. I can't exactly remember like the detail of the face, but I know like it had a really big tongue sticking out. And I think there was also a couple of other ones, or no, now as I realize that character was from Black Clover. Bleach, oh, okay, that was, I remember the name, I couldn't remember like pronouncing it, but I remember it was wearing white now as I think about it. But nonetheless, I mean, anime that isn't obviously the usual ones that we see, like a My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, Dragon Ball. Cool to see at Comic Cons.
Yeah, so I've heard really good things about Bleach, but Bleach is the one anime that I actually know nothing about. I don't know any of the plot, any of the characters, so I have really nothing to go off of for this, but it is nice to see some stuff for Bleach, especially in the soda form. Or no, this is pop now, right?
Yeah, we're
okay, so
now.
that's even better. It's great to see more Bleach pops because I feel like it's been a while since we've seen a Bleach pop, and yeah, it's great to not see another DBZ pop or My Hero Academia.
All right, so next is Care Bears, and it's No Heart. Now, I remember looking at the photo, and it is not actually one of the I believe it's like the villain of the Care Bears, if I'm not mistaken. I seen the photo. It's not like a Care Bear shape that's called No Heart, and maybe it's like got a broken heart in the logo. It's literally a different character, which is really awesome considering, yeah, when it comes to Care Bears, all we've been seeing is just like, here's your good luck bear, here's your happy bear. I don't even remember all the names for the Care Bears, but you get what I mean. And then they did the Pop Rides also, Funko Shop exclusive. So it's like, this is a great switch up from just the bears. And now you're expanding from that and doing other characters, which is always good, especially for Comic-Con exclusives.
Yeah, this screams Comic-Con exclusive to me, and I think this is going to turn out very, very well.
Next one is Darkwing Duck, and it's Darkwing Duck. So I remember they've done a couple of the pops, and then one of them was Negaduck, which is black and white, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not exactly sure what route they're going to go with, considering that I haven't really seen Darkwing Duck. I know you've seen a bit of it, so I don't know the route that they can go that is a little bit different from the pops, especially because they have done, I believe, newer Darkwing Ducks within the last year or so that I think the chase was Negaduck also. So I don't exactly know where they would go with this, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, when there's trouble, you call DW. This should be cool, but like you said, we have already seen Darkwing Duck in the chase with the Negaduck. So I don't know. Obviously, they're gonna have to change something up with this, whether it's like a pose, if he could have like his like cape wide open, or if he's in like more of like a flying pose or some kind of action pose. There's going to have to be something like really special about this pop for me to want to get it over, let's say, those OG ones.
All right, so the next three pops are all coming from the DC Comics lineup, but I'll go one by one. The first one is a Batgirl comic cover, which I do like the idea because I don't think Batgirl, from, if memory serves me correct, has never had a pop comic covers, which is great to see considering that at least it's not the like 14th Wolverine comic covers. Yeah, this is a great idea for a comic covers for a convention.
I feel like Batgirl has had one comic cover, but I could be wrong about that. But I'm picturing something, but I could be completely wrong. But this should be cool. I'm wondering what comic they're actually going to go with. Obviously, when it comes to the comic covers, I love that the pop matches the cover itself. So hopefully they can do a good job of actually having the pose or exactly what's going on with this cover match the pop itself. If not, it's just not going to be that great for me.
Next for DC, we have Big Barda, if I'm looking at this correctly, or Borda. Once again, the letters are very tiny from the picture that I'm looking at, but I mean, it sounds like an obscure character. I'm not exactly sure, but that's always cool to see for Comic Cons. I don't know if maybe this is going to be related to a future DC product, because of course, I know that Funko loves to kind of like tease those future products for if it's a DC Comics or a Marvel and make it as a classics character, like not like a pop classics, which actually we'll get into one of those in a little bit, but like a comic book version of that character before releasing pops for that character for, let's say, a DC. It wouldn't be EU at this point. Once we hit 2024, it's going to be going straight to DCU with the James Gunn vision. But I don't know if that's those cases or it's just like it's a comic book version of this specific character.
Yeah, I mean, I have no clue. I think you summed that up pretty well. So I guess we'll see what we get. Hopefully it's cool. I do think that this could be one of those sleeper pops that like you don't really expect much from it, but then it turns out to be very awesome with a lot of great detail.
And then the last DC Comics pop we have, it is Harley Quinn. There's been a ton of Harley Quinns. It doesn't say the comic covers because obviously we have one here with Batgirl and it says comic covers, so it's got to be some sort of different route. I'm not sure. Once again, this could be a tease for like something in the future for DCU, considering that I think James Gunn has mentioned about using not only Harley Quinn, but actually keeping Margot Robbie as the actress for Harley Quinn in his vision of DC Comics. Or once again, this is some sort of comic book version that we somehow have not seen yet, but I don't know, in my eyes, I don't really care considering that there have been way too many Harley Quinns at this point.
Yeah, this is a little ridiculous. There have been a ton of Harley Quinn. So hopefully this is something for a project in the future, because I really don't think we need another Harley Quinn, especially to be a con exclusive.
Next up, we're going to anime again, and it's Demon Slayer. We've seen a lot of Demon Slayer, and it is Momoko and Sabito in a 2-pack. And as I look at the photos here, I actually do remember them as I'm looking through the photos here. And yeah, these are some pretty interesting pops. I like the idea if either you introduce one pop, or in this case, I believe these characters have never had pops before. I could be wrong though, because they have made quite a bit of Demon Slayer pops already in a 2-pack for a Comic-Con exclusive. If the case is that both of these characters are brand new, I would make this like better than the 2-pack we got for San Diego Comic-Con with Tanjiro and then Yuro Kodaki. But nonetheless, I mean, still cool to see Demon Slayer. I'd rather see more Demon Slayer than, of course, the God knows how much Dragon Ball Z we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, this is cool. I like the fact that it is a 2-pack. I find that 2-packs that are done for any con, but especially New York Comic Con, end up being really good. I don't know what the reason for. I feel like they just pick two characters that make sense to be in a 2-pack, and then the pops are usually pretty phenomenal. So hopefully this is the same case with this 2-pack.
All right, so now we're going to Doctor Who, and it is the 14th Doctor. How many fucking doctors are there? I remember there being an 11th, a 10th, a 9th, going all the way, obviously, to the first Doctor, and then, like, I don't know. I mean, I know that there have been seasons of Doctor Who since literally the 60s. I'm not even exaggerating that. I felt like they've already made a 14th Doctor. I don't know if this is just a new version, or maybe they actually haven't made the 14th Doctor yet. I don't know. It's just there's a lot of pops in that lineup too that just you can't really keep track of what's been out and what's not been out.
Yeah, I have no clue. I don't even remember what the 14th Doctor looks like. Definitely remember like the 11th Doctor and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. This should be interesting. I find that Doctor Who's something pretty cool that like I don't really watch it. I have watched a few episodes, but I do like the universe that it's based in. So I would like to see what this pop ends up looking like.
This one's interesting for the next one. It is a Dungeons and Dragons pop, and it is Loth, I believe it's pronounced. And from the photo that I'm looking at here, it looks to be this big, giant, like spider-like creature, which seems really awesome. So that, to me, in my opinion, seems like this is going to be like a 6-inch pop because it looks like a giant spider. So I would assume that you'd make it a 6-inch and not your regular 4-inch. And it also, like, I don't exactly know if this is for Dungeons and Dragons, the movie that came out earlier this year, or for the game, but I do think that it's for the game, considering that I feel like they would write it as Honor Among Thieves when it comes to writing these. Because I think even when we talked about San Diego Comic-Con leaks, they did mention an Honor Among Thieves pop, which actually I don't think actually happened for San Diego Comic-Con. So who knows? Maybe this is one of those cases. Maybe that pop's going to be from New York Comic-Con and this one's going to be bumped, because sometimes these leaked lists aren't entirely true. But whatever it is, I would like to see more Dungeons and Dragons games pops.
Yeah, I do think it probably will be for the actual game of Dungeons and Dragons, and that's because we've seen a whole bunch of D&D stuff for different cons, and it would make sense if it is in a 6-inch box or something similar to that. Obviously, we have seen a bunch of different pops for D&D in these 6-inch boxes, whether it's Mimic or the gelatinous cubes that we've seen have both been in like their kind of own size box, but still not your standard like 4-inch box. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is in a larger box.
Next up is for Family Matters, and it's another Steve Urkel pop, which they already announced the Family Matters wave not too long ago. And Steve Urkel has his own chase, where obviously you got like nerd Steve Urkel, and then you have like the cool one with the white outfit, I believe. So even though I haven't really seen much of Family Matters, I actually have no idea what they could do off the top of my head for another Steve Urkel, but I'm sure it'll probably sell well, since even though Steve Urkel was never meant to be a main character, he somehow is the most iconic character from Family Matters, which I know that this pop will be a part of the Warner Brothers 100 set, since that's where the Family Matters pops have been placed in.
Yeah, this could be really cool. I have no idea what this pop could look like, because obviously it has to be different from the original one that we've seen. So who knows? I think that there could be a lot of cool different things. You can have them in like a weird, like kind of dancing pose. I think that that would be kind of the best route to go with it.
All right, so next up we have Garfield from Garfield, and I don't know where they're going with this, because we've gotten a couple. I'm sure there's been like some, like I believe the original one wasn't even for like the movies. I don't even know if it was. Didn't they make comic book Garfield pops?
Yeah,
Isn't that a thing? So I think that's where it was. So in this case, yeah, animation. Be cool if they did the live action movie and they could pull that off in a pop, maybe even make it flocked. But yeah, this could be interesting. I wonder now, as I think about it off the top of my head, for the fun on the run, or not fun. Oh yeah, it was fun on the run, but not in the mystery box there. They did do the like summer beach ball Garfield with a flock chase. So I wonder maybe they'll do it here, but at the same time, that just seems like more of a summer convention pop than there would be a fall. But you never know. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of times when these like leaked lists come out, maybe this was for a previous con and then it had to be delayed for whatever reason.
Yeah, so I think with the Garfield pops, we had the normal Garfield. I believe there was a flocked version of that as well. And then there was the Funko Shop exclusive one that was where he had the coffee mug in his hand. I don't know what this one could be. I feel like it has to be something different. I think that they could do maybe like eating lasagna where he has like a hilarious kind of facial expression with his mouth. Something like that that is actually going to want to make people buy this. Obviously, Garfield's so known for loving lasagna that would kind of make sense that people would really want to get that. Besides that, I don't really know what else they could do with Garfield. Obviously, Garfield has done a ton of different things over the many, many years, but I feel like lasagna is just the best route to go with.
All right, so this one's going to be interesting because I had finally recently seen this movie. MD has been messaging me saying, you got to see this movie. You got to see this movie. It's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and we have the High Evolutionary, who is basically the main villain of the movie. So that definitely makes sense, and I feel like at this point, you could realistically end off the lineup right there with that pop, and I don't even think, even though
Wrong.
I know you're going to get there. I'm going to mention about how when we did our New York Comic Con predictions video, you did suggest a Guardians of the Galaxy 3 pop, but it wasn't the High Evolutionary. So I guess you can mention about that as you discuss about this pop.
Yeah, so this is cool. I'm glad to see a Guardians 3 pop coming out, or at least supposed to be coming out, but it's not exactly what I wanted. I did want to see Rocket's friends that you do get to see in the movie itself, where he kind of meets them and you kind of discover their backstories. I think that would be a perfect 3-pack for a con, especially somewhere like this con. But I don't know. I feel like the pop that we're getting, or at least are supposed to be getting, will still be pretty good. And it being a con exclusive, I feel like will make the sales for this a lot better than if it was, let's say, just a common.
So this one, at least to me, is absolutely phenomenal. Could be one of like the top 10 best pops if pulled right. And if I'm thinking exactly what it is, and listed here is the key demon from the horror movie Insidious, which Insidious is one of my absolute favorite horror movies of all time. I think it's literally Insidious, and then above there would probably be like Sinister. But if it's what I'm thinking of from like seeing like the covers, I think like this pop could be pulled off like very well. And yeah, I think it would be a definite top seller, and definitely, in my opinion, such a nice refresher for the horror movie lineup, and perfect timing for New York Comic Con, Halloween around the corner.
Yeah, I think that this could be amazing. I'm not a fan of horror movies. I barely watch them, but I guess I have seen a few and I have seen most of the Insidious movies. So I think that this could be really cool. Like DK said, this could be one of the best pops of the con by a mile, especially if they pull it off right.
All right, so we have two Inuyasha pops listed here. We have Inuyasha and then Shippo. Been such a long time since I've seen Inuyasha. I've seen it as a kid. So they've done quite a bit of Inuyasha pops just as the character itself instead of just the overall lineup. And then Shippo, I don't think Shippo has had its own pop besides with the new, well, I guess it's Funko Shop exclusive, but at the same time, it was listed as the FunFest 2023 that happened last week of the Kiara and Shippo like Pop and Buddy there, and then there's a flock chase. So that character attached to Karara is now getting its own pop instead of being a little miniature pop with a 4-inch pop, which I think is pretty decent.
Yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense to be a con pop. We have seen a taste of this character in pop form. So now to get a, I guess, quote unquote, full version of this character is a perfect idea.
So this next lineup, this may be why people are also mentioning about MIG pops for New York Comic Con, and I hate the idea of this. It's another Warner Brothers 100 Looney Tunes mashup. Do you have any idea what this mashup could be? And it's a new mashup, not one that's previously existing.
I forget. I did see it when I was kind of scrolling through some stuff, but I absolutely forget what it was.
So it is Wizarding World. So it is going to be Looney Tunes and Harry Potter pretty much as a mashup, which listed here we have Bugs Bunny, Lola Bunny, Porky Pig, and Sylvester Cat. And now at this point, it's like, who's going to be who? I feel like it's a given that I think obviously Bugs Bunny's got to be Harry Potter himself, and it would be a missed opportunity if they don't use the carrot stick as a wand. Lola Bunny has got to be Hermione Granger, and then Porky Pig, Ron Weasley as Porky Pig. I don't know. I just feel like,
Yeah.
and that point, it's like, shouldn't they've done like another like main character like a Daffy Duck as a Ron Weasley, because it's like side by side with Bugs Bunny there, and then Sylvester Cat. It'd be pretty funny if they actually made it as Filch's cat, Mrs. Norris. And I feel like because Sylvester is a villain pretty much in the Looney Tunes, it'd probably be Sylvester Cat as Voldemort.
Yeah, I think that kind of makes sense. I could also see maybe Sylvester being oh god, what's his name? Blonde kid.
Cedric Diggory? No, Draco Malfoy.
Yeah, Draco. I feel like that would make a lot of sense. I don't know why. That's kind of just what I'm picturing, but I think this will be a cool set. I will be buying these if they do come out because I collect Looney Tunes pops, so I'm going to have to get them. And I don't really have any Harry Potter pops, so I feel like this is a good way to incorporate some Harry Potter pops into my collection.
All right, so next one is for the Marvel lineup, and it's Goblin Queen. When I first read Goblin Queen, I thought for some reason it said like Goblin King, and we were getting new Labyrinth pops. I'm like, oh, right, this would be amazing. But then I seen Queen, I'm like, Goblin, that ain't. Oh, it's like, oh, Marvel, okay. So I'm not really excited for like this pop for the sake of we've been seeing these like obscure Marvel pops and they haven't really been selling all that well, even though it seems like a cool idea. Especially we have like the Lilith pop that was for San Diego Comic-Con, and also people crapped on that pop because they thought it was Lilith from Diablo 4, which ended up actually getting confirmed as its own Funko Pop. So that's cool, but it would have been better if it was that. But I'm not really excited to know about like how this pop, like I'm looking at the photo right now, it looks really cool in detail form. It looks like the devil, but I don't know how this is really going to sell, because how many people, like as a casual people, will be like, yeah, I know the Goblin Queen.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I have no clue about this character, so who knows? But again, this could be one of those pops that is one of the ones that does have the most detail when it comes to actually seeing the pop when we get these releases.
All right, so I teased about a pop classics earlier. That's what we got here for Marvel, and it is Captain America of all people. I don't know how I feel about this pop because we actually did mention on what would have been last week's edition of a Funko Popcast about how they've been making the classics pops based off of characters that, even though, yeah, it's the original pop, it's a pop that they still produce and that it's not vaulted. And I don't remember if this Captain America is even vaulted. I know like Spider-Man isn't vaulted. I don't think the Wolverine number 5 in the lineup is vaulted. It was one of the first like 5 or 10 Marvel pops. So I don't exactly know. Like that's why I can't really like crap on it much, because it might be a vaulted pop, but I don't remember if it is. I feel like it might not be though, because I feel like I see it here and there though.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this either, for the reasons that DK said, but also I feel like we're seeing classics pops maybe a little bit too often, especially when it comes to the same licensors like Marvel. We've seen a couple Marvel ones already. Let's see something else. Let's go on to something else. Let's get like a Simpsons classic pop for the television lineup, or I don't know, anything like that. Maybe Goonies, something different, something that's not just Marvel or Disney.
All right, so brace yourself, MD. This is up your alley. It's McDonald's, and it is a McNugget with Halloween pails. Insert the crickets here. No, I'm just kidding.
So yeah, I did see this. When I saw the photo of the leaks, I was like, wait a minute, the McDonald's Halloween pails, how are they going to make these into pops? This is ridiculous. We're going with the foodies lineup with this. And then I realized it's a McNugget with them. And I was like, yes, this is great. I need to get my hands on this. I still don't own the pumpkin McNugget. So definitely need to get this. And I will need to get that pumpkin McNugget eventually. But I feel like this one's almost cooler because it's so nostalgic of getting those little Halloween buckets when you're at McDonald's, at least back in the 90s. And I guess they were probably out in the early 2000s as well.
All right, next up for the NBA lineup, it is James Harden. I remember the name. I can't exactly remember like what team he played for. I actually remember seeing comments and people were not excited about this pop. This might be along with some of those like Looney Tunes crossover pops that people are calling mid. So I don't exactly know. And regardless, the NBA pops at this point are just, let's take a random head mold and then just repurpose that same body, but with a different jersey.
Yeah, okay. So for the first thing I'm going to say is that realistically, I don't think any sports pops need to be Comic-Con exclusives. And love him or hate him, it's James Harden. That's awesome. A cool player, if anything. He's very distinguishable from everybody else. I mean, the beard on the guy, unreal. So I feel like this pop will look cool, but we have seen James Harden pops. So why are we getting one for Comic-Con? This makes absolutely no sense. I think I'm actually standing with some of the comments that people have been making on Instagram.
So the next one listed here is NYCC, the Pizza Rat. I mean, this isn't exactly surprising because we've gotten Pizza Rats every year since I believe either 2019 or 2020. And even though it's not listed here, there's probably going to be a Poly Pigeon also, maybe even multiples. It's just a matter of when you think about the Pizza Rat, what's the color fur and what kind of pizza is it holding? Because I believe like in prior years, there's like a cheese and pepperoni. I think there was a deluxe. I feel like last year's was Hawaiian. What kind of slice of pizza is he holding and what color beanie is he wearing? I don't exactly know, but yeah, it's another Pizza Rat pop.
So yeah, Pizza Rat's pretty cool, and I am interested to see what this one looks like. Hopefully, we do get a really cool colorway for this one, and hopefully the pizza's cool as well. We could see like a meat lovers or something like that. Then if we do see Polly Pigeon as well, not as cool, I guess. But Pizza Rat's awesome, so hopefully we do see a really good one that beats the rest that we've seen before.
Next one listed, another anime, and of course, it's One Piece. So we've been getting One Piece for a while, and we have Monkey D. Luffy, and I'm just going to assume, even though it doesn't say it right after, it's going to be a wanted poster because we've been getting that the last couple of cons. We had the Goldie Roger that sold out like hotcakes, and then I believe that was the end of the rides at WonderCon with Trafalgar. So it is still kind of the beginning of the wanted posters, but I think they're still continuing it off. And I mean, Monkey D. Luffy, I mean, main character, so it makes sense, especially for a Comic-Con exclusive. Even though it's just make a 4-inch pop and you add this poster in the background, it's still gonna sell. If Goldie Roger sold pretty well, then obviously the main character is going to sell.
Yeah, I think if this wasn't one of the wanted posters for Luffy, then I would be very, very shocked. I think that that's the way they're going to go, and that's the perfect way to do this.
So going to the games lineup, we have Overwatch 2, and it's Soldier 76. You've played Overwatch quite a bit back in the day. You had the pops. You actually sold your entire collection recently. And then the second game is out, and it still surprises me a little bit that they're making pops for Overwatch 2 and not Fortnite, but that's in a different discussion. But yeah, pretty interesting, but not surprising that it's a Comic-Con exclusive, especially because they don't have to really overproduce that pop.
Yeah, so I did sell my collection, so obviously I'm most likely not going to be buying this one. Soldier 76 is a cool character, though. It's kind of that run and gun type of character that a lot of people like to play, especially if you come from playing like games like Call of Duty. So this should be interesting. I feel like with the way that Funko has their moldings nowadays, this will look pretty dang cool. I know they kind of stepped it up with the Overwatch pops when it came to the end of the original game's pops. And I have played Overwatch 2, and it's pretty much the exact same game as number 1. I did enjoy playing it because I love playing Overwatch, but it didn't really feel like a brand new game by any means. So maybe this pop will follow suit and not be anything too special either.
All right, so next up is Peter Pan and Wendy, and it's a new Tinkerbell pop. We've gotten a lot of Tinkerbells. I don't really know what they could do here. It is for Peter Pan and Wendy and not just like your regular Peter Pan, so I don't really know the exact difference. But I mean, I guess it's cool.
So I think that Peter Pan and Wendy is the new movie, if I'm not mistaken, the like live action one.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I don't know. This might look really cool. It also might look really bad.
Then we have two Pokemon pops, and both of them are 10-inch pops. I'm probably going to butcher some of these names. So we got Arceus and Dialga. So on the bright side, brand new Pokemon pops. On the downside, they're a 10-inch figure. But then I guess on the upside, I believe they are much larger Pokemon than a lot of the rest. So I guess it makes sense, but I don't know.
Yeah, so Arceus is the god Pokemon, so it does make a lot of sense to be a larger pop. And Dialga as well is a huge character, a legendary. So this makes a lot of sense, but at the same time, it's weird to see pops of Pokemon that are con exclusives that aren't a variant. But at the same time, these characters kind of make sense to be con exclusives and not just be out there in the wild as commons, but also give us Gen 1 stuff. I mean, we're getting too much of the newer Gen stuff. Obviously, Dialga and Arceus are like Gen 2, Gen 3, maybe, I think it is. So this kind of makes sense. They're cool. I know a lot of people have a lot of nostalgia with these characters, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't think this is necessary for the con, but I guess it does beat seeing like pearlescent pops of like Psyduck.
All right, so next up, we have ourselves Willy Wonka from Wonka, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is for the brand new Wonka movie that I think is a Netflix movie. I could be mistaken. It could be going, I don't exactly remember. I think it's for a Netflix movie that's coming out about Willy Wonka, which is pretty decent. I mean, we haven't had Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factories for a while. And I don't even remember if they ever made like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory pops. So seeing something related to Willy Wonka that isn't the original movie, but you're bringing something new is really cool. Maybe they will make like another wave of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory after this gets released.
So this pop is something that I definitely need to get my hands on. I love all of the Willy Wonka stuff, whether it's the book, the original movie, the newer movie, and this new movie. I'm super excited about. Timothy Chalamet plays Wonka. I do feel like it should have been Jeremy Allen White. He looks just like Gene Wilder. But besides that, I'm so excited for this movie. I feel like I'm going to like it. No matter what people on the internet say that, oh, it's not going to be good. There's too much magic in this. Who cares? This movie looks awesome. I think it's going to be great. It's made by the same people that made Harry Potter. So it should be produced very, very well. And for those reasons, I'm definitely getting this pop.
All right, so next up is Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, the very first movie, and it's Indiana Jones with snakes. It's been so long since I've seen any of the Indiana Jones movies. The only thing I can remember of the snake is doing that lights and sounds pop of where he's going for the idol there, and then the snake's on top of it. But other than that, I actually can't remember unless he's like tied up by snakes or something like that. But it's still cool that we're getting Indiana Jones pops. I mean, the new movie released this year, so you know that they were going to pump up a lot of Indiana Jones pops.
Yeah, I could be completely wrong about this, but I believe at one part in the movie they are stuck in like a snake pit. So maybe it could be something to do with that. Either way, I think this is going to be really cool. The Indiana Jones pops are usually always bangers, so I wouldn't see this being anything less than that.
Next up, we have Run DMC, and it's listed as music. So I'm not entirely sure. Is that the name of a band member, or is it maybe a pop album, but they haven't really but it's just weird. Like, here's our album called Music. So that just sounds a little off, but I don't know. It could be, I would assume it's some sort of member that we haven't really gotten besides Run DMC, and then Jam Master Jay, I believe, is the third one. So maybe there's another member that at least I don't really remember of, considering I haven't really listened to Run DMC all that much, but this should be interesting, I guess.
Yeah, this is really interesting. We have seen the singular pops. We also have seen the deluxe album. So, or it was one of the concert moments, I think, actually,
Yeah,
wasn't
the
it?
concert moments.
Yeah, so who knows? Maybe this could be an albums. That would be really cool. And I'd probably pick it up if it was an albums pop.
All right, so after this is for Star Trek, and it's Geordie LaForge. And I've never really heard of this guy. Oh, actually, okay. Now, as I'm looking at the photo here, it's like, that's who he is. So that would be a pretty banger poppy. From the few episodes I've seen, I remember him a little bit.
I watched a little bit of Star Trek. My dad was huge on Star Trek. But one thing that I do know about this character, that it is the actor who plays Reading Rainbow.
All right, so next one that's listed here is for Star Wars, and it's Darth Maul. Now, this one is a lot of possibilities, and I'm hoping it's the possibility that we just recently mentioned on a podcast that we've been talking about for a little bit. Some people think maybe it's another Rebels Darth Maul, considering that the new Ahsoka series is out, and of course, a lot of the Rebels characters were a part of that, and then Darth Maul made a little bit of an appearance, and they only did like the one pop, while they've done multiple pops for the Clone Wars. But, and I'm sure MD will agree with me, hopefully that this is like first appearance Clone Wars Darth Maul, where he has the huge horns and the big spider legs, and it will be a 6-inch pop, and that thing would be such a banger, and I feel like worth getting and would make sense as a Comic-Con exclusive, instead of hopefully not some sort of generic Darth Maul that's kind of a switch up from what we've already seen.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen quite a few Mauls at this point, so I feel like we need this version. I feel like that's what a lot of people want to see, so don't give us anything else besides that.
All right, so next up we have Succession, and it's Kendall Roy. I feel, isn't that a band, music group? Is that a TV show? I don't actually remember about Succession.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Next up, we have Nightmare Before Christmas, and it's a pop of Sandy Claus, which is a little bit weird considering we talked about the soda, but it's not weird considering literally at San Diego Comic-Con, we had a Tony the Tiger pop and a Tony the Tiger soda. So this could be some sort of random trend that happens, but it also makes sense considering that around this time will be the 30th anniversary of Nightmare Before Christmas, which we will be doing a fandom-related podcast later on in the year on. And yeah, hopefully this pop, I don't exactly, because they've done maybe 2 or 3 of them, so who knows what this pop will be.
Yeah, this is interesting. I don't really know what this could be besides. I actually have no clue because they would obviously have to do something different with this one. I couldn't see them just putting out another Sandy Claus where it doesn't have too much going on with it.
All right, next up we have the Toxic Avenger from the Toxic Avenger. It doesn't list it as a Marvel pop, but it does seem like some sort of like superhero character. I'm not exactly sure. I remember people were commenting that they were excited about this. So could this be one of the big wants or big needs on people's wish list for this convention if this comes true?
So it says Toxic Avenger on it.
Yes. So it says the Toxic Avenger, and it's the Toxic Avenger as terms as the character. So it's the same title as the character.
Weird. So I don't know what this is. At first thought of hearing this, I was thinking it was like Toxic Crusaders, I thought. But yeah, I have no clue who the Toxic Avenger is, so don't really know what to expect.
All right, next up we have the Vampire Chronicles, and it's Armand, and it just seems like some sort of generic vampire from the photo I'm looking at here. So I don't know.
Yeah, I have no clue about this, so I don't know, and I feel like this one will be, like what people are saying, pretty mid.
All right, and the last one, good thing we saved this for last. This is the huge confusion that people aren't sure if it's listed as a soda or if it's listed as a pop, and that is for the Yu-Gi-Oh lineup, and it's of Dark Magician Girl, which we have seen a pop before, but we've never seen a soda. But on the list, it does say soda beneath it, but I think it says that because it's starting off the column showing off, here are the sodas, and then the above will be all the pops. So I don't know what they could possibly do for a Dark Magician Girl pop from what they have done from the previous one, besides maybe a different posing. It wouldn't surprise me considering the brand new wave of Yu-Gi-Oh pops, which obviously excited about a new Yu-Gi-Oh pop since we do collect the pops. Since the new pops are basically, for the most part, already existing characters, but different versions. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have another Dark Magician Girl pop. But if it is a soda, that would be a banger, because for sure, regardless pop or soda, it's a for sure need, and I will be definitely grabbing that if it ends up becoming true. And if it's a soda, what could be the chase for it? I don't know. This could be metallic, it could be glow in the dark. I don't exactly know, but I'm excited regardless, because if it's a Yu-Gi-Oh pop that's happening, it will be one of the needs for me.
Yeah, so this is an awesome idea that we have here. I feel like there's many things that could be going on with this. It could be a soda, like some people are predicting, which would be cool. We haven't seen any Yu-Gi-Oh sodas, so that could open up the floodgates of a bunch of different Yu-Gi-Oh sodas that we could get. Or it could be a pop, but what are they going to do with it? I don't know. Maybe it could be similar to the original Dark Magician Girl that we've got. It could be different. Obviously, there are different card arts for some different of the dual monsters, so maybe it could be different. Or this could be a complete mix-up, and this could be a different girl character from Yu-Gi-Oh completely. It could be one of like the, oh god, I forget what they're called, like the Pixie Girls, something like that. It could be one of those. Who knows? But I'm very excited to see what it ends up being, because me and DK are going to buy it anyways, almost no matter what it is.
Anyways, guys, that is all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this podcast, and especially for checking out some of our future content, especially videos here on the channel. So thank you for watching, and hope to see you guys next time. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
Nanu. Peace in, peace out.